can't found. You can't find. It's the name of the sham.
Hold it, stop the music!
Ladies and gentlemen.
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 Can I please have your attention?
Now showtime, are you ready? Are you ready for start time?
Let's find out. Ready, let's go.
Can't found. You can't find. It's the name of the sham. This is a jam, but the E can't found. You can't find. It's the name of the sham. This is a jam, but the E can't found. This is a jam, but the E can't found. It's a jam, but the E can't found. You can't find. It's the name of the sham.
Hold it, stop the music!
What? No. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing? I am excited to be here. Man, am I ever excited to be here with you all. Let me know who's here, where you are coming in from. Oh, I see that. Thank you so much for coming in. We have tapped that notify me tab. Thank you so much for tapping that tab. All right. So, I got some really great things I want to talk to you all about today and kind of show you why I'm doing this challenge, first off, and everything else that encompasses it. So, this is my love, my passion of showing people how they can improve themselves in content and their videos and everything else like that. So, I am extremely proud of that. And I'm just checking to see all of some of the other things that we have. Hey, Neil, how's it going, sir? We got Neil in the house. Neil is a master. Neil's going to be coming on also, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to be coming on and he's going to be talking in reference to workflow as well. And I love to hear about some of those great things. So today, we're going to be talking about making you look like a pro on camera, right? I'm going to show you a little bit of my background because some of you may be thinking, why should I listen to you? Who are you to tell me how to be good on camera and everything else like that? And I want to explain a little bit of why that is. But first, I want to know, how are you all doing? Where are you coming in from? So if you tell me your location, where you're coming in from, I just want to get to know you as well. While we're doing that, I will kind of show you a little bit of that. For those who are wondering and who do not know, I am using a software system for streaming, which is called Ecamm. Ecamm is one of the most powerful content streaming platforms out there, right? It's not a necessity for the things that we're going to be showing you, but it is one of the things that makes it so much easier. So thank you, Ecamm. Yes. And as you see some of these things that we go, most of you will notice that these are being done live. And Ecamm saves me so much time in editing and all the rest of that. But that's not why we're here. Let's jump into it. So let me show you a little bit about who I am. I have been around cameras on TV almost my entire life. Some of you may have seen me in movies, my face and that beautiful smile, but I've also been in the background. I've been in major movies. I've been on TV shows, Good Morning America. But one of the main reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing is because of my son, my family, right? That's him trying to pretend like he's a doctor. And I'm like, go, son, I need that retirement, right? There's also my wife, my grandson, our sons. So this is one of the main reasons why I love doing that. We take vacations, we travel a lot, and I do this for them. I'm also I don't want to say world renowned speaker. I don't want to puff that up, but I do speak at events as well. Here I am speaking at a women's award event, the NABA, NAWBO, National Award Women's Builders Association, something like that, right? Organization. So there I am there as well. But one of the great things that I'm going to show you about what we're talking about today as well is if you see me in my attire there, I'm in a nice jacket, shirt, bow tie, and then I'm in jeans, and then I'm in my sneakers because that's who I am. I'm authentic. Everyone who knows me knows that I'm going to be that way. There's another picture of me there. You can see my chucks a little bit on the side right there in my jeans. Been on national television, and I'm on the CW network with Penn and Teller. I am also, I'm retiring from that as well, but a professional magician where I used to perform in Las Vegas. So I've been around audience and so much in crowds that I can show you how to get over anxiety and get rid of some of that feeling of being on camera or being in front of people and speaking and whatnot, right? I've hosted on television shows as well. I've been a morning show host as well, talk show host, late night as well. There I am on TV again. In Las Vegas, right here, I hosted weeknights, 10 p.m. And then I did a couple more as well. I think we got a few more. There we go again. I hosted the Downtown Podcast in Las Vegas, which was a late night talk show every Thursday at 9 p.m. And just a couple more pictures. You can see me there. We've also been featured nationally as well, again, on this is late nightly news with Lester Holt. My son and we do a podcast, and the news station picked it up. The Today Show picked it up as well. And that's another little small thing I'm able to show people is how to get in front of journalists, how to get on the national news. That's what a lot of people may want to do. But that's a whole separate thing. And it takes some warming up to there. So there we go. Again, he spoke on this issue in which our podcast was featured. There we are again. And again, national news. And then here I am again hosting the television show. You can see the background, the layout. I'm just kind of going through that because none of that matters to you. None of that matters to why you are here. So we're going to jump into that though in just 1 second. So what is this challenge about? By the end of this challenge, I want to let you know what you're going to be able to walk away from. I'm not telling you you're going to be able to create content to the point where you're out there and everyone notices it and it goes viral. But I am telling you that you're going to be able to show up on screen a lot more comfortable. One of the softwares that we're going to be using today, some of you should have received it by now, is Notion. If you have not checked in the group, there is a link to download it. And if not, just send me a message. I will make sure you get it. It's one of the best platforms, and it's free, that I use to make sure my content is structured. And I'm also going to show you kind of two ways of that being done. So I'll show you that here in just 1 second. So first, let's jump into a little bit of the course. Also, before we do that, if you have any preguntas, después, any questions, please throw them in the chat. Any comments, anything that you feel, stop me, and I'll see if I can just jump more into that. Here's how I would like for you to place your questions, though. I would like for you to do a Q with a colon and then write your questions afterwards. And one of the reasons why is because the system allows me to separate comments from questions to ensure that I can get to them directly, right? I'm not scrolling through to make sure I see comments and questions and I miss one. I can separate them. So thank you all. Please don't hesitate to throw any questions or any comments inside there. I sincerely appreciate that. And this, let me see if I can bring up. This is my avatar. Hey, those are my fellas there in the background helping me out. Thank you, Lion and Lion. Appreciate that. So, all right, so let's jump into this a little bit here so you can kind of see. So let's see. All right. So now we're going to go all the way back up to the top first. And let's do this here. Get that there. All right, so let's get started. All right, so introducing Go Live, Show Up, and Show Out with myself, Lion Flood. Okay, so let's see how I do this. Let's see. Is that way? Oh, no. Okay, we're just going to do it the old fashioned way. All right. So this is our mini presence webinar. I'm going to show you how to spice up your live life, right? How to spice up your live. A little play on words. That's just my little thing there. But we're going to show you how to spice up your live. This isn't directly about going live all the time, but also we're going to be talking about how you can implement what you're going to learn here to go live. I love going live because it creates such more engagement. People feel like they can be there to ask you questions right away and so forth. And that's one of the main reasons why I love going live. But also, we're going to be showing the video content. Okay. So let's take a look here and make sure we're good. Yes. All right. So it's not as easy as it looks. We're going to be talking about quality lighting, camera placement. We're going to be talking about your background. And then at the end, I'm going to throw in a bonus for you all. Okay, let's double check and make sure we are good. Any comments, any questions yet? We are good here. What are we doing? Bam. All right. So next, let's talk about lighting and setup, right? Lighting and setup. Effective lighting and camera setup. What does that in essence mean? People will stick around for your video if you don't have good video quality. Audio is probably the number one thing, but also your lighting, though, it determines if people are going to stay and watch. Right? You want to make sure that you can be seen and heard. But if you can't be seen as well, if it's grainy, then no one's going to really want to stick around and watch your videos, whether it's live or whether it's recorded. All right. So I'm going to tell you about a 3-point lighting setup. It's a simple kind of concept, right? If you look in the center, you will see camera, right? The camera is pointing towards that yellow spot. That yellow spot is you. Within that, you have a key light, you have a fill light, and you have a backlight. You want to ensure good lighting conditions. Natural light often is the best possible light, but then you want to invest in soft lights, diffuse lights, lighting sources. And it does not have to be expensive, right? It doesn't. You can get some lights from Best Buy, Walmart, or wherever your shopping center may be at, right? Avoid harsh lights on the face as it can be distracting. So currently, I'm going to bring it back and then I'm going to show you an example of what I'm referring to. So currently, I have my 3-point light set up right now. I am using natural light also, which I have to the right side of my face over here. because I have my windows open and my blind. Well, I have my blinds open. Okay. But you want to be conscious of that as well. So I go and record or go live at specific moments because at this moment the light is centered. But maybe if I did it at 3 p.m. and the light's on, and then I'm doing an hour, maybe the light in the sun starts moving. And then it starts to cast a shadow, right? So even if you're using natural light, you want to make sure you're still aware of what's going on. You do not want natural light behind you. Avoid that harsh light, as they were saying, right? You don't want that behind you because it's going to cast that overshadow into the camera. But you do want backlight behind you, not natural lighting. So I have what's called a fill light that's behind me that's shining above, right? So let me see if I can show you this. If you might be able to see the difference. So I'm gonna turn my fill light off. And if you notice right on this side right here, it gets darker. If I turn my fill light on, then that comes back up, right? So that's my fill light. Then I have my key light that's right in front of me here. And then I have a light that's shining down, which is my hair light, they call it, even though I don't have any hair. So, but that's a 3-point lighting setup. You want to ensure that you have proper lighting, right? Get 3 lights that you can set up easily. It does not have to be bright. It could be a lamp, right? It's just a start. And then you can maybe invest in lighting different. I guarantee you, these things will help you look like a pro on video and will help you feel more confident. Okay. All right. So next, we are now going to be going into the 3-point light setup, just a different version so you can see it a little different. Here's another look at it, right? Okay. Here you are in the center, right? Now you got your fill light, you got your key light, and then you have your light behind you. And you want to make sure you have them on low intensities because you do not want that light shining into the camera. You do not want it like blasting to shine and washing you out, right? Hey, at any time, ask me to stop. Take a screenshot of this as well. There will be a recording of it so you can look at it at any time, but take a screenshot of that as well so you can see the camera position. And we're going to talk about camera angles and all of that as well in just a second. So those are the starts of the key lights. Okay. Any more questions? All right, perfect. So now let's talk about camera positions. Yes, right? Because we need to know where to put our camera at, how far to put it from us so that it gives us that good kind of look and without blurring us down and so forth. All right. So let's jump right into that. Camera placement. Position a camera at eye level or slightly above. This angle is generally the most flattering and it creates a more engaging connection with the audience. And I'll show you an example of that here shortly as well. So, what does that mean? Let's take a look at it. This is how I have my camera set up. Right now, this is not my exact one. I'll show you a picture of mine here in a second as well. But this is how I have mine. Right, I have my lights there. My camera is directly above my computer. Right, so let me see if I can show you an example. So this, if you can see my finger, this is the top of my computer, and then my camera is right here. So let's see if I can get you to focus. So there we go. So that's actually, let me bring it bigger so you can see. All right, here we go. So this is where my computer is, right where you see the tip of that finger there. And then this height is where my camera is, right? So my camera is here, and then my computer is here, all right? Does that kind of, gotcha, makes sense there. All right, so my cameras are set up just like that, and then I have multiple cameras so I can have different angles. But again, if we're just starting, start with just what you have. And I'm gonna show you why even your cell phone can be great. And I would advise using that over the webcam that's inside of your laptop or desktop or whatever it is. Okay, I definitely would tell you to go over that there. So, and please at any time, tell me to slow down because I'm excited. This is my first one, so I'm getting going. I'm excited. Boop, boop. All right. Let's also make sure I bring up my Notion so I can make sure. Position over. Okay, perfect. I'm still on track. All right. Now, next, we're going to be talking about backgrounds. Ooh, this is one of my favorite subjects to talk about. I want you to choose a clean and uncluttered background that does not distract from the presenter, which is you. Consider using a virtual background if your surroundings are not ideal. There are several videos that I coach on and I teach that I'm like, no, that background is perfect. You don't need a virtual background. Sometimes we don't think of it that way though. But for instance, if you look at this background here on a wall, we have three pictures, a clock, and that's it. And probably on the side, you have the plants and a lamp. That's perfect. If you have something in your home that you can use something like that, that's great. Even if you don't, I'm going to show you some ways that you can work around that there. All right. So that's a smart thing on your background. Let's take a look at my background here. This is one of my old virtual backgrounds, and I'll show you a really cool thing about this. Okay. That's not a virtual background. Let me show you something here as well. Most people think this is a virtual background behind me. It is not, right? This is, I'll lift it up and show you. So if you can see that being lifted, and then underneath is the background, a brown background that you saw just a second ago. That is this background, right? And it is simply a photographer's backdrop that I got off Amazon for like 15 to 20 bucks, right? But what it does is it gives me that presence of like professionalism. If you feel like you're being professional, you're going to be more comfortable. So what I'm telling you in essence is if you have a scattered background, if you have a bookshelf and all your books are behind you, you're going to feel anxiety. If you can simplify it, you're going to feel better on screen. Now, if you can't, then that's fine. We can then design your background to look a little bit better, but that's okay. All I did is simply put my back up against a white wall and then I put this backdrop behind it. That's it. There's nothing complicated with that. My desk is right in front and then my lights and everything is behind me. Okay. So most people think these are virtual backgrounds, but they're not. But that's because I just took that time and set it up so you look more comfortable on camera, which in turn makes you feel more confident on camera. Yeah, savvy? Makes sense? All right, let's keep going. Next, one of my favorite things, and this is something that we do not think about. We're going to talk about body language. Body language and expressiveness. What does that mean? Same way as if you go to a in-person conference and if someone's just sitting there talking like, oh, Ferris Bueller, 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 right? You're going to start to fade into that like zoning out kind of phase, right? So body language is absolutely important. And within that comes eye contact. Eye contact makes you want to look directly into the camera lens and to treat the impression of making eye contact with your audience. Avoid constantly checking yourself on the screen. And that's one of the biggest things I see with people mostly, right? So I'm gonna show you an example of what I mean. So our brains fight against watching the screen because we see the people on the screen, we see the person on the Zoom, we see the person there. So what do we do instinctively is we look at the person and we're talking to them, but we're not making eye contact with them, even though our brains tell us that we are. So if I'm speaking to you on Zoom like this, look at where my eyes are, right? Look at how it does not feel like I'm looking at you. But simply by coming up to the camera here, now I'm looking directly into your face, even though I'm not. But I'm giving that impression that it does. It's a hard thing to fight, but I'm gonna show you a great tip that I use in order to do that. All right. So let's get there so you can see exactly what I mean. All right. Now, within that, this is an example of a meeting that I was in where you can see, and there's the background again behind me, my old background. It's still there. I just have it covered up now. But in this meeting, for the Zoom meeting, we have four of us, but three are looking into the camera thinking that they are talking to each other or talking to the person. But look at me. I'm looking directly into the camera and it can tell. You can see the difference, right? You can see what's happening. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of people who came through my course and the difference in how they are reacting with it now as well. So, check this next one out. Oh, actually, before I do that, um, look here. Was that one there first? Yeah, that one was here. Oh, so this is the little tip that I was going to tell you first. So I have this little post-it note right there that tells me where to look. So it makes my brain look here, lion, look here. Throughout this whole conversation, throughout this whole Zoom meeting, this networking event, this is where I want you to look, right? And that helps me stay confident and looks better on camera because now I'm not doing this and looking down and continuously talking. I have to continuously look here, lion, look here, fight it. I know my peripheral shows that they are on the screen below my camera, but I need to look here, right? And after a while, you will develop it. Practice it. Just sit by yourself. Don't go live. Don't record anything. Just practice it. Maybe record like a minute of you going over your presentation, and then you will start to see and get better and get more comfortable of doing that. Right. So look there. That's one of my great tips that I love doing. Facial gestures. Look at this. This is a perfect example of what I'm speaking of. You need to do that expressiveness, that motion, right? Use a variety of facial expressions to convey emotions and engagement. Smile when appropriate and maintain a pleasant, approachable gesture. Use your hand gestures purposefully to emphasize points and to add dynamism to your presentation. However, we want to be mindful of overdoing it. It is as excessive gestures can be distracting. All right. So let me show you a good point coming back to that as well. So if most people we don't pay attention, you may not notice, but I'm keeping uh, that mindset going by using my hands, moving. If it's not natural to talk with your hands, that is okay. You don't need it to always be gesturing because you don't want it to be distracting. But every once in a while, you want to just come up, make sure your hands are there. Oh, you know what? That was a great point, right? If someone makes a great point, or if you're doing a presentation and you want to point something out, you want to say, okay, what I'm about to tell you next is so important, right? My hand gestures, my facial gestures, versus just, all right, so what I'm about to tell you next is really important. That still works, but okay, so what I'm about to tell you next, it's so important. Even with the facial gestures, that is something that you definitely want to work on as well, right? And take a look at the video. You can see she's making those gestures and she's leaning in, she's writing, she's coming back. I don't know, right? So those are some things like that. Take a look at this next video and you're going to see how the person is speaking into the screen, as I call it, versus looking at the look here sign that I'm showing you. And you'll see. So take a look at this one here. All right. So you can see how she even tried to format it into the phone, but look at her eyes. Her eyes are looking into the screen, but she's probably thinking, I'm talking to my guest. And this is one of the big reasons why your guests won't stay, they won't come back, or anything like that, because they feel like you're not making eye contact with me. Okay. Voice and verbal skills. That is what's next. Voice and verbal skills. What does that mean? Tonality, ladies and gentlemen. You hear it, but we just don't notice it. Yes. So let's talk about it. Speak clearly. I want you to enunciate words and speak at a moderate pace. Avoid mumbling or speaking too quickly, as they can make it difficult for your viewers to understand you. What do I mean by that? Uh, I always teach my son, take a little pause and a breath. Pay attention into this video if you rewatch it. Listen to how my tone and my speed moderate, right? They go up and down. There's moments where I'm going to raise my voice and talk about things like this, and then there's moments where I'm just going to settle back in and my voice is going to be sort of monotone. But then at one point, I'm going to spike. I'm going to make you not get bored and start to, I'm not going to do the Bueller, Bueller, right? Anyone who's seen Ferris Bueller, you know. All right. So Any questions, any comments, or anything like that so far? Okay, great. Let's keep rolling. I'm loving this. I'm loving it. Right. So make sure you speak clearly, enunciate your words, take your time. There is no rush. Even if you're on a time limit, that's okay. Practice to set it up, and then it will make it a lot easier. Okay. I spoke on varying your tone. How do I fix my monotone? Use vocal inflections to convey enthusiasm. Keep the audience engaged. Avoid speaking in a monotone voice, which can be monotonous, right? That's what I'm talking about. So instead of me just talking here like this, I'm going to raise my voice occasionally, and then I'm going to slow my pace down. And then I'm going to bring it back up, right? We're going to keep doing all those things. You want to emphasize and pause, right? Emphasis. You want to get that. So don't rush through your content. You want to pause strategically to allow your audience time to absorb the information and then to emphasize key points, right? So you want to take your time and say, oh, you know what? This part is important. So I want to practice this. I want to make sure that they understand why this is important. So let's say if you're giving a presentation and you say, all right, now the third key of this is probably one of the most important things that I want you to take away from that. Why? Because it's the one that's going to get you the most business. So you see in that moment how I emphasize, especially through the screen. Those are things that we have to do. Okay. Now let's jump into some bonus content. Who's ready for bonus content? We got option A and we got option B. Then I'm going to show you something else. You want to know your material, right? You want to be well prepared. You want to be knowledgeable about your content so you're not hesitating. One of the reasons why we don't show up on screen so well is because we're like, what do I say? I don't know what to say. And we're going to go over that on day 3. I got a great app that's going to show you how to make sure your material is on screen correctly. All right. Best practices, you want to rehearse your presentation multiple times before the recording comes on or goes live. This helps reduce the nervousness, right? It improves your delivery as well. And then last but not least, you want to be authentic, transparency, genuineness, matching outer expressions, everything like that. Now, I told you, since we're going to get ready to, doing great on time. Let's see how we're doing. Anybody got some questions? Any comments out there? Because I'm about to show you one of the best features that we have to help you to get to that point. All right. In the email, when you signed up for this, you should have gotten the Notion app to be able to download. I'm going to show you how that works and how we do it. So first, I'm going to show you one through my Ecamm system here that I got through Ecamm, and they're using Notion as well. So let's take a look at this here. First, what is Notion? It's basically an app that keeps you organized. That's my simple way of putting it, right? So within this, if we take a look here, this is the plan that I use to put all of my information out throughout this Black Friday and Cyber Monday sale. Let's make that a little bit bigger. All right, perfect. So on the right side over here, we see where it says social media templates, email templates, graphic assets, video assets, podcast reads. Okay. Basically, this was a easy format for me to know of what platform I wanted to place what on. So, for example, we have Discord, we have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Those are the platforms that I was placing the items on. So let's take a look into, for an example, Facebook. Okay. We have content creation. So I click in it, then I have something that's already laid out for me. So I know what to put in there. That helps me so I'm not nervous and I don't have to think about what else to say. I know that I have it. Okay. I also have my emails here at the bottom as well. So they've already been written. Now I don't have to be frazzled so that when I get ready for a video to come on, everything is in here. All right. So now I'm also going to show you how I use it on a regular platform here so you all can see that as well. So take a look at this. This is my one personally here. Okay. So if I look into this and welcome to the VCA content, if you look here, you will see under planning template, I have laid out episode 3, for an example. Let me make that bigger again. I have that episode 3, episode 2, what made me go this path, and so forth. The great part about this is that you get to edit this to whatever you want it to be. This is what's going to make you comfortable enough to get on screen with your content. You're going to plan your content out. You're not just going to jump on and say, all right, I want to talk about A, B, or C. You're going to plan it out and you're going to use this as your 1, 2, 3, your standard operating procedure. And here's how you're going to do that, for example. So let's say, for example, you wanted to edit this to be number 4, right? Easily that way. I want to open this up. Now I have the ability to then put any recordings that I want, come down here and choose my topic. I'm going to write about my topic, right? This should be clear and easy to explain to your audience, should understand it right away, right? That's what when you get this system from me and you downloaded it, you should have gotten all this. And this is telling you your topic should be clear to your audience and they should be able to get it right away, right? If you go over to the goal, by this time, I want to have achieved this by this video, right? I want this video to teach people how to use Canva, right? Or something more specific. That's my goal. What did you do in your research to do that? I watched these videos and that's how I'm going to use it, right? So you can use Notion to make any adjustments you want towards your video. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. If you can prepare yourself in everything you want to do before you start to record, it's going to make it 10 times easier. Let me show you another one that you get within this, okay? So we have that. Now we're going to show the run of show. This is something that you're going to do the same thing. Here it says scheduling live, but again, you can change that. Instead of it being live, you can change it to, let's say, scheduling record. And what's also great is with this is if you have a team, they can see this live as well. They can make adjustments so that you're able to then edit the show faster or do whatever you're going to do, right? So then we have the thumbnail and imaging. We have the title, the description of your video. I have it scheduled in Ecamm because that's what I use. But if you want to schedule it on YouTube, schedule it on LinkedIn, you have all of these options. And again, you can then go inside of it. And now you have a to-do list, you have the headings. You can adjust these in so many different ways, right? Also, again, you can send the personal invites. You can make this anything you wanted. I just made this as what I do. For those who have downloaded it already, you're going to adjust it yourself. The whole point of me stating this right here is that if you can go ahead and put everything you're going to do out on paper first, all you have to do is have this on your screen and you are ready. You know exactly what to do first, okay? Once you have the scheduling set, you're going to go into your tech check, right? What does that mean? I'm going to check my gear. I'm going to make sure that my notifications and sounds are off. Another thing that's important that people don't notice is checking for speed on your computer. I see people say, well, I froze up. Well, I gave you a free site to check. It's called speedtest.net. Speedtest.net. And matter of fact, I think I can show you. One second, I'll show you exactly what that looks like. Let's see, where's my speed test? Oh, I know. There it goes. Okay, so here's my speed test. This is what it would look like, right? You don't have to be a guru because it tells you what it should be at. And basically, if it's not in red, then you're good, right? But this will tell you if your computer is running too slow. Maybe you need to close out of some items. Maybe you need to stop another app that you're using. Because the more apps that you use, the more it's going to freeze or the chance of it freezing, okay? And you don't want that. Again, all of these things go into your confidence because if you know, okay, good, my speed's good, it's above whatever suggested number that they gave me, I shouldn't freeze. All right. But if you doing videos and you freeze often, then guess what you're going to start doing? You're going to start to say, oh, no, I don't want to do that because that's how it's going to freeze and I got to then find another way around it, okay? Also, with the speedtest.net, say that 5 times fast. It shows you right here that your speed should be above 5 megabits, right? So as long as you're above that, you should be good. Camera angles, devices are ready and tested. Your Ethernet is connected. If you use it, should always use Ethernet to help. Wi-Fi is unstable, but it's gotten better. But still, close unnecessary programs and tabs. So it's a checklist to check all of your things. Again, when you're prepared properly, you're going to show up more confident. Now, I've gotten to a point now where most of these things I just kind of overlook because I've been doing it so long and I shouldn't. And then occasionally I'll be like, oh, wait, I forgot something. So I want to make sure I double check. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going because we're almost there. Let's see where we at. Gear guest for your list. Oh, gear list for your guests. There we go. You want to make sure if you have a guest on, if you have doing a presentation, you want to ask them to check their cameras, their lightings before. Anyways, it's just basically a to-do list to make sure you are good. Any of this, any other distractions, I say put my dogs up. I don't always do it though, and then hear bark in the meeting because I just got so used to him being there, right? But you can use this. Once you go live, once you go or start recording, you can change that to recording. These are the things that you're going to do, right? It tells you, I need to get an attention getter. What is an attention getter, right? An attention getter is something that's going to grab their attention right away. You want them to stay in the video. So not only are you getting those step-by-step um, app that I've given you to download, you're also getting those helpful hints and tips in there, right? The bumper videos. It's going to talk to you about the topics and everything like that. So those are some of the great things that you're getting with that as well. And then after the recording, it tells you what to do for editing and so forth and those kind of things there. Okay. All right. So I'm going to slow down here for a second because I know I've been throwing tons of information at you. And I'm just going to ask you if there's anything else that you're looking to kind of round this into. And then I'm going to bring it home and show you what we're going to be doing tomorrow. So today, again, we were talking about the lighting, the camera angles, the sound, talking about using Notion, which I highly suggest that you use. Even if you've been doing it for a while, right? Notion is still a great thing that you can work through for your tips, for your teammates, and give tips and ideas and so forth like that. And it will make it 10 times easier. So let's say if you're going to be doing a video on teaching tax preparation or teaching quilting, whatever it is, right? You want to get in there and you want to write out what your steps are going to be. I'm going to first talk about the product type that's needed, why certain colors may not be needed. So then now you know I need to go through these steps. A small example. I have on my screen in front of me right here, my Notion, and in there I have mentions. So I look at it occasionally and I'm like, oh, I forgot to mention this item, right? And that's perfect example through my Notion. One of the items that I forgot to mention, and let me see if I can bring this up on screen for you. It's an app that's called Crisp. Okay. Uh, they have a free version and they have a paid version. All right, let me bring that up so you can see it. I suggest highly getting this. Let's do this. All right, so here we go. Crisp is a noise canceling app. I am not affiliated with them, so I do not get paid through them, but I use it and I absolutely love it. All right. Basically, what it is, it's an app that eliminates noise from around you. Right? It only focuses the AI. I don't know how it does it, but it does it. It only focuses the AI here. So, for an example, most of you may not have heard, but my dog was barking a second ago. In Crisp, I can see eliminated the sound, right? So it caught it and it did not come into the microphone, right? So I highly suggest Crisp as well. It's not something that I get paid for. I'm not affiliated with them, but I use it and I absolutely love it. Try it out, especially for people who may leave their animals out or they're pressure washing outside right now and I can hear it, but it's not coming in through the mic as well. And that's what my dog was barking at because they were pressure washing the side of the building. So it's one of the things that I highly, highly, highly suggest. All right. All right. So take a quick second here, come back, and let's see. Now, there's also some advanced things, and we're not going to get into any of that because this right here is simply about looking like a pro to start you off. Okay. And one of the best things about that I say is if you start step by step and build, you're going to feel way more comfortable. If you're not comfortable going live and you want to, I go live all the time because live for me is way more comfortable than recording a video. I force myself. If I make a mistake, my audience gives me grace because they know I'm human. I'm going to make mistakes. If you're recording, you then are on yourself. Oh, I didn't sound good. Oh, I need to do that again. And you're going to record 15 more times, right? So just go ahead and do that. Let's see. Um, Also, another thing that we're going to talk about is positioning. All right. So I have this overlay that I use for my positioning. There's some other things that you can do for it. And matter of fact, I will show you in this method. Well, I'll show you the overlay first, and then you will see. So I use this to ensure that my posture and my position is correct. Right. So I don't know that while I'm performing, I'm not, slouching. I'm not, hey, lean to the side, because every once in a while I can kind of just go like that. I want to sit properly. I want to make sure and let people know I'm engaged. Right, I'm here. I'm not just like this. Another method that you can do, or you can use to do that, is let's see if I can find this. Yeah, I'll go back to the workshop and I'll show you something. Okay, so let's see here. On that background that you saw earlier, let's see. Oh, okay, I see what it's doing. All right, there we go. I can figure it out this way. All right, where it says, oh, I got to go through one by one. All right, perfect. Here, when you start to look at this background, okay, what I did is I used these pictures, the pictures as my overlay, as kind of this thing here in essence, right? So I know that if I start to lean one way and I go past the picture, then that is taking me too far out of screen. Right? So if you don't have an overlay, in which I can still give you this one here as an asset for free, you can use plants. You can use candles. You can use a bookshelf behind you, right? And you know that I'm placing these two books on my bookshelf, and if my head is out of that view, then I'm out of screen, right? People can't see me, right? So that's another great method that I suggest using if you don't have the ability to use like an overlay or something like this, which is a simple thing, in which I can show you how to use. Totally different class. So tomorrow we are going to go over something exciting. But before that, I want to show you this as well, because this is who we have coming up. We're going to be bringing up Tatiana Rodriguez. She is a professor that's coming to talk to us about communication and talk to us about how we can communicate more verbally. She's coming on the 28th. The 30th. Yes. Oh, today is 28th. She's coming on the 30th at 12 p.m. once we start the last day, and she's going to be talking. So if you have questions, if you have concerns, if you have any kind of thing that you want, I'm bringing in a professor of communications for video to come and talk to you as well. I've taken and I've talked to her and I've learned so much from her as well, that this is going to be so great. And I implore you to come with any questions, any comments, anything else you may have that's coming there. Let's check and see if there's anything else I missed. Notion crisps, so Rodriguez overlay position. There isn't. I think I covered mostly everything. So to wrap this up, simply put, the first step you're going to do to work towards getting your confidence started is downloading Notion. And then you're going to write out a small 5-minute script for video that you're going to produce. And I also want to see your introductions in the groups in a group. And thank you for putting your introduction. I saw it. I appreciate that. Coming all the way from Canada, my Canadian friends up there appreciate that. But that's the first step. Take 30 seconds and get on camera. I'm telling you. I can tell you all day to do it, but you have to put in the work. That's the first step. I don't care if it's good or bad or ugly. You gotta press record and you got to get on camera if you really want to step your virtual game up and to get more confidence on camera. So, still do your introduction. I want to hear more about it. And I want to see a screenshot of your Notion that you've set up. I want to see you. Let's bring this up again. So let's look at this. All right. I want to see, you can use this one here. You can, I think I put the link in there already, and it will bring up this exact thing. And then you edit it just like you want to, right? Or go download Notion from their website, and it's free. Okay. So I want to see you put whatever your name of your show is going to be, whatever name that you're going to do for a video. You're going to say I'm quilting or teaching real estate, whatever it is. I want to see a screenshot of it and of your scheduling or video if you have the capability of doing that on Loom. I think Loom does that. If anyone knows about Loom, you can do that as well. Right. So that's what I want to see tomorrow for homework in this group. Let's start it right away, right now, because you want to show up with confidence on video. Then it starts with you pressing record. It starts, you have to start ugly, as I tell my students. Start ugly. Just do it, right? You have to do it. You have to. So let's go ahead and see if we have any more questions or any comments or what people are, the thoughts are. Oh, you know what? I did not go into. Let's see. We can go here. Ah, yes. There we go. And all right, so I will make that adjustment for tomorrow. Yes. Thank you so much for that comment. Um, love it, love it, love it. Appreciate that. Tap the notify. Thank you, Isis. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's my time. I'm going to get ready to get off of here, but join me tomorrow, same time. And we'll also be doing it tonight. So if you missed this one, 7 p.m. Eastern, same locations. So join me tonight as well. And we're going to go back over this. This is great practice for me as well. I'm going to smooth out any things and get a little bit better with it as well. So I will see you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Is that it for me there? Yeah, looks like it is. All right. Enjoy the rest of the day. I'll see you tomorrow.